Kids asleep, sharks awake. Trade Daddies on the mic. Let's work. Let's work. Wrench your hand by daylight, grease on the sleeves. Nightfall, switch lanes, candles and degrees. Blue collar mornings, markets after dark. Teaching wealth in the shadows, lighting up the charts. From the shop to the screens, breaking cycles, no cap. Turn patience into profit, show the roadmap. Education first, yeah, the mission stay clean. Built on discipline, modern Canadian dream.
Daddy time, late night grind. Shots glow while the world unwinds. Trade Daddies, yeah, we break it down. From higher highs to support and bounce.
OG in the game, seen bubbles and pain. Hands wrapped tight, both gloves and gains. From the ring to the feeds, pressure don't shake. Market swings heavy, steady moves get made. W3BC built, yeah, the vision clear. Teach and entertain, make the lesson hit here. Punchlines land like a clean left hook. Market speak when a trader looks. After bedtime, headphones on, screens glow bright. Risk defined, patient tested every night. No hype trades, only structure and plans. Read the flow, understand supply and demand. Not promises made, just skills passed down. So the next generation build solid ground. From dads to traders, lessons stay true. Knowledge is power, now pass it through.
Who runs the charge?
Trade Daddies,
Who breaks it down?
Trade Daddies.
Risk, reward, discipline.
Let's get it.
Who runs the charge?
Trade Daddies,
Who breaks it down?
Trade Daddies.
Risk, reward, discipline.
Let's get it.
Daddy time, late night grind. Real talk for the trading mind. Trade Daddies after dark. Read the market, play it smart.
Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get
Yo, here we are. Trade Daddies live once again. Just me today. We're soloing this tonight. Jay changes away, dealing with some family issues. He will be back probably next week or the week after, but that's fine. We're gonna solo it. We can run it here. The markets have been crazy, and we've missed it. We've been away. Honestly, summertime is just crazy. We've been away last week, so we didn't give you the updates. But all in all, we are going into a place that we have talked about before. And I also told you guys we were going down, and we did. We've been talking about it for weeks and weeks and weeks on this channel, and it finally happened. And yeah, like we're in a bear market. Like this is bear market vibes. This is just what's going to happen in a bear market. So just, I've been here before. This is my third cycle. We've been here before, so we've experienced this. So hopefully, my experience and my mistakes, I can teach you how to do it and not make the mistakes that I've done. But yeah, so markets meltdown tomorrow. We have the SpaceX IPO, which is potentially going to cause market mayhem. Maybe. So I believe, and between Anthropic and SpaceX, I think they're like the biggest IPOs ever. And there's just like, I think it's some crazy number, like $6 trillion or something like that. And I don't think there's enough money in the market to support those valuations. So is this peak euphoria? Like, are we gonna have market meltdown and like is this where Bitcoin's gonna just dump and roll over? Very possible, very, very possible. Let me see here. Cool. Let me check my chat here. If you guys in chat, just send a message so I can see that you're here. I am giving away blockchain futures conference tickets today on stream. I was lucky enough to get some free tickets, and I already have mine. So we'll be giving them away on stream, but you got to be active in chat. I got to see you. I got to see you here in chat. So if you're active, if you're in the chat, just say hello. Say hello. Let me get my chats all sorted here. God, so many monitors. All right. You know what? Let's just like get right into it. Let's look at some news. We'll look at the markets, and let's without further ado, let me actually. I got some music. Let me see. Like I'm using StreamYards. I think next time around I'm gonna use OBS, and then get the. I don't like the idea how StreamYards does not allow me to schedule an X broadcast. It just goes live when I go live, but I'd like to schedule it ahead of time. So I'm gonna figure it out. I have some music though. I made all this music myself, I guess, so you guys can hear some of my AI music, but we'll just have it in the background here. And let me know if it's too loud, overpowering my voice. But we're here. All right, let's get into it. Let me share my screen, and we'll get off to the races. Oh, that's not what I wanted. All right, share screen. Boom, boom. Let's get into it. All right. Well, welcome in. It's been a minute, but let's make sure we give you guys the sauce. Give you the sauce. Okay, Bitcoin. Let's zoom out. We'll go over the overall trend that I had mentioned, and then what we'll do is we'll go to where we are now. So it's been a minute, so let's refresh our memories, keep it all fresh in the noggin. Okay, Bitcoin. We had a top, 126K was our top, and we have seen nothing but downward price action since then. Now, we consolidate, but we're coming down. So, Bitcoin, the same thing on the way up as it does on the way down. We have, bullish consolidation here, and then we pop off, and it just kind of does these things on the way up, and it does these things on the way down. So we had a top, we come down, we had a leg down, we consolidated, we made what's called a bear flag or a rising wedge, and we break down. And we did the same thing here, and we inevitably broke down, right? I would say this is more of a rising wedge, if anything. And we broke down. The target of this would be somewhere here. So I had a target of 47K. I've been talking about 47K for a while. That's why. Now, kind of looks like we're consolidating right around the weekly 200-day moving average. I told you guys this is the thing to look at, the 200-day moving average on the weekly. We usually in a bear markets go below it. If you look at, I'm going to go down to my other chart here. So if you go down to, let's see, 2022, we lost it. We lost it quite a bit. And in 2020, not 2020, in 2018, we actually bounced off it. So if we have something like this, maybe we just bounce off it. But mind you, we did lose it during COVID. So we did have a second bottom here. We had a not a lower low. We the lowest here was 3100, was 3100, and we went to 38. So a higher low, mind you, but that did happen in March of 2020. Now, and I will show you this chart real quick, because some people don't believe the 4-year cycle is intact. Ladies and gentlemen, the 4-year cycle is very much intact. It has not been broken. Mr. Peaceful, what's going on? Welcome to the chat. I am nice. I'm happy to see you. Welcome into the chat. Hope you're doing very well tonight. Shout out to my arena folks. All right, 4-year cycle, like a clock. It's on time. Perfect. 2017, 371 days from top to bottom. 2021, about 357 days from top to bottom. And 2025, top to bottom, 378 days brings you to October 19th. Again, don't quote me on the days. I don't know exactly when it's going to happen. It'll rhyme. It's not going to be the same, right? But I have to say that it's going to happen again until I'm proven wrong. So that's kind of what I'm looking at. I'm looking at a mostly sideways summer. That's kind of what I'm thinking. And this is where I'm going. Like, is the SpaceX IPO the catalyst that leads us to have a total market meltdown? Like we can't be going up forever. Like, markets need to correct, come down, so people can reinvest at higher lows, essentially, if you're in an uptrend. Trick like it's exact. Yeah, it is. It's I can't make this up. I made this chart. It's not very hard to make a chart like this, right? And I can't argue with the data. Top to bottom, that's exactly how it is. So what, I'm gonna plan for it, if I'm not perfect, it's fine. I don't need to time the bottom, and you shouldn't be worried about timing the bottom or timing the top, right? All you got to know is buy Bitcoin at big discounts and sell Bitcoin on the way up in a bull market. That's how you make money. You make money not so much from top to top. You make money from compounding returns from the bottoms to the tops. That's where the money's real made. Like if you got the bottom of 2022, you got a 760% increase to 126,000. So if you have diminishing returns, let's just say you get 400%. That's a 4x on your money. I don't know about you guys, but a 4x is fine for me. I don't need 1,000x. Like 4x is pretty good. You're not going to get that in anything traditional. So let's keep it keep it under control, because I think people get too far ahead with greed. Yes, you can make a crap ton of money in crypto if you hit the right thing, but you don't know what it's going to be. You don't know where tension's going to go. You can try your best. I know Bitcoin's going to be around. Altcoins, I don't know what altcoin's going to be around for the next 100 years, but I know the monetary policy of Bitcoin for the next 100 years, and that's where I choose to put my time and energy into. Numbers never wrong. You know what? It's hard not to have the same thing over and over, because you have a 4-year cycle that is programmed in with a halving. So it's deflationary. So how do you equate there's that lack of supply? It's literally deflationary. So in my eyes, I keep it as simple as possible. If you have less supply in the future with the halving, but you have the same demand, price still goes up, right? If you have more demand and you have the halving, price goes up more, right? You would have to have significantly less demand to match the halving to have price go down. So I think overall, we're in a huge uptrend. I think this next cycle is going to be pretty huge, because right now the government is getting all the plumbing and all the stuff for the crypto ecosystem to operate, and legality and clarity with companies and corporations. I think, next cycle, all that stuff will be, coming to completion, and corporations will know how to operate in this space. And green light means go. Like, everyone's going to be getting on board. It's going to be like a gold rush. But yeah, so this is what I'm hoping for. I'm looking at us to find some sort of a bottom, if we haven't already, in June, and then potentially maybe a little rally in July, and then dump over. But I'm gonna go back to my other chart here, and I'll show you guys where I'm looking at on I believe it's a daily I'm looking at here. Yeah, let me zoom in a little bit. All right, so on the daily here, I have myself in a little symmetrical triangle, or maybe you can call it a rising wedge. So I don't know where this is going to go, but I do see us consolidating here. I did anticipate yesterday that we're going to bounce off the bottom of this channel to the top again. Now, do we come right back down? So this is what I'm looking at right now. We have the smooth moving average, and we have price. Price likes to respect this white line. White line is the smooth moving average. So if you can see, price moves when it gets too far from this white line, it usually makes its way back. It's like a magnet. Price action sticks around here. So I want to see what happens with this 21-day moving average. Do we bounce, get rejected by it and continue to coming down, or do we get above it and maybe we break up to the upside and we make our way towards the 200-day moving average on the daily, which is 77K? I don't think so. I don't think we go up that high. But I could see us revisiting 65, 66. Let me see some liquidity here. Like right here. Yeah, I could see us revisiting this liquidity here. So around 67, 68. Again, that's not, I don't know if that's going to happen. Like tomorrow could be the dump. Like SpaceX IPO launches tomorrow, and that could be the dump. And this could be what brings you to 50K. Like this pattern right here might bring you to 50K. So I wouldn't trade this at this point. I would have traded once we hit the bottom to the top. But now that we're below and we're at the 200-day moving average, I'm just going to observe. If we get above it and we break to the upside here, so if price action does something like this, maybe we break up here, I'll probably look at getting in there and trading the breakout and just put my stop loss somewhere in the pattern, somewhere around the middle. And then again to the downside, if we break this bottom trend line, you're probably going to want to, it's probably going to do something like this. You might have like a little dump, a retest. You want to get in here at the retest and then come down, or you can take the breakout and put your stop loss again back inside the pattern. Those are the two options I'm looking at for Bitcoin overall, like the daily. Let's take a look at the smaller time frames. We'll zoom right in. Let's look at the, what do we want to look at? Do I want to look at the 12-hour? Let's still look at the 12-hour. Same idea, just more data. Same pattern, just zoomed in a little bit. We're kind of consolidating in this little pattern here. So whether we break up to the upside or break to the downside, we got to see. If we do get above this liquidity here, there is a gap right up to 67. So if we do break up out of this pattern, 67 is probably the next target. So that is interesting. And could we say we have a double bottom, like, right? Double bottom, W pattern. It's possible. It looks nice. It looks pretty nice for a W, right? I like it. So what I've been actually paying attention to a lot lately has actually been tether dominance. I'm going to show you tether dominance after we go through Bitcoin here. So Bitcoin 3-day chart has been my favorite chart lately. This was what I was tracking this uptrend with, and hey, 2 green candles on the 3 days. So let's see if we can get a continuation. This candle closes in 2 days and 23 hours. So let's see how Bitcoin goes tomorrow and then over the weekend. Could be pretty damn good if we come back up. Maybe we come back to this again. 67K is the 21-day moving average on the 3-day chart. So very, very possible that we can go up there. All right, let's take a look at the 4-hour here. Let me zoom in right here. Same idea, just more information. All right, so this is my take right here. Either we have a double bottom. Where's all my indicators? Oh, let me bring up my indicators have disappeared from my chart. RSI. Oh, now that was weird. Now they all showed up as soon as I put one. Weird. All right, so let's take a look at the 4-hour. So we got high stochastics, RSIs above the neutral line. So this kind of looks like we might even come back down to the bottom of the channel. We'll have to see what they do with it. I would see if we break the top side, you might have that W pattern play out to 67K. Now that I have my indicators back on, let's take a look at the daily again. So here's what I'm looking at the daily. If we do break up to the upside, you do have stochastics coming up. RSI was on the red for quite a while. We're coming up above that line. So could we have some more juice in the daily and go up? Like the MACD's also kind of losing bearish momentum. So I want to see, tomorrow's going to be decision time. Like, do we have a nice green candle on the daily tomorrow? Could be possible. Okay, let's take a look at the smaller time frames now. 15-minute, I do like that we're above the 200-day moving average. As long as we stay with the 21-day moving average, pretty good. Can we say this is like a flag here? This is kind of good. It's bullish consolidation, right? You can even call this like a bullish rectangle. And usually with bullish rectangles, you would take the length of the pole, and then when you break out, it might go up. So it brings you to 65K. Might be a little bit of a bounce. We might have a bounce before we dump, because there is a lot of liquidity to the downside, and I'll show you guys coin glass a little bit later. But yeah, this could be a move to the upside tomorrow for Bitcoin. Or is this the fake out? Does it just fake us out? 65K, that's pretty interesting. Honestly, as long as you stay above the 200-day moving average, you're more likely to be bullish than bearish. 5-minute, same idea. You're above the 200-day moving average. Sticking with the smooth moving average is what you want to see. Low stochastics, RSI is coming down, so it looks pretty good. Maybe we bounce off the 200 here. Maybe we come down, bounce off the 200. That will reset the Stokes and reset the RSI. The short time frames look kind of nice. And then the 1 minute has lost the 200-day moving average, which kind of coincides with my 5 minute bouncing off the 200. So might be a long for Bitcoin on the small time frames here. So I'm leaning towards a little bit of a long, honestly. We may actually break out of that daily to the upside, and maybe 67K could be the target in the next, maybe this weekend. Could happen. I don't know. I'm curious. What do you guys think? Where do you guys think this market's going? How do you guys feel about it? I'd love to hear you guys' opinion. Shout me out in the chat, homies. And then, yeah, I want to see where we're going. All right, let's take a look at Tether dominance. All right, let me go to my weekly. Okay, this is my big chart, guys. This is something you guys need to understand. If Bitcoin is going to do something, you need to see the same result on Tether dominance. You got to understand where is money flowing in the market, right? If Tether dominance is going up, altcoins are going down, and Bitcoin's going down, you know money is flowing into stablecoins. People are protecting their capital and putting in the stablecoins. All right. So understanding the relationship between, price action and stablecoin dominance and Bitcoin dominance and all that goes a long way to understand the overall trend. Very, very important. Very common in markets. You have accumulation, manipulation, it comes down, and then distribution. This is very common. You see this in all markets. So what I see here was 2022, 2023 was the bear market of Bitcoin. You had stablecoin dominance at the top. We made a topping pattern. We came down March 2024, see? And we found a bottom in, October of 2025, really. Like this is where you consolidate and then you come up. So you started a new uptrend. So you have a downtrend and then you consolidate the bottom and then you have an uptrend. And this is what you're seeing now. You're seeing the distribution now of Tether dominance. So you're starting to see Tether dominance on an uptrend. I showed you guys this before. This was what I was tracking before we dumped. And as you can see, this was the Bitcoin dump. Tether dominance ripped almost to my target, like almost perfectly to my target. I'm going to get rid of these lines here. So we're almost there at 9.6%. That was my target. Again, you don't always hit your target perfectly, but that's pretty dang good. So, and as long as we stay with, price action here, you're going to see we're above the 200-day moving average. The 21 had crossed, which is, the model that I like to show. And we're sticking with it. Now, we're probably going to come back and revisit this smooth moving average at some point. For Tether dominance, and that's when you'll probably see a Bitcoin rally, a little bit of a rally before making a lower high before we finally make our way down to the cycle low. We're not quite at the cycle low yet. I still think Q4 this year, fall, is going to be where we have that bottom. But Tether dominance, very, very important to take a peek at that when you're looking at making a trade and to make sure you're on the right side of the trade. That's where you want to go. You want to look at Tether dominance just to give you some confluence in your trades. Now let's take a look at the daily on this. All right, so here we go. So I just said that I think we may have a little bit of a pump up to 67K for Bitcoin. Now, does Tether dominance show me the same thing? So what you could have here is a double top. You could have an M pattern coming back to here, right? Could even come and bounce off this 200-day moving average here. So I'm seeing that I'm getting some confluence here that we may have a little bit of a pullback for Tether dominance before we make our way to the upside. Because this is a descending triangle. So ascending triangle is bullish, descending triangle is bearish. And the descending triangle target would be something like that. You would take basically the measure of this. And you're looking at getting back to 7.9%. So somewhere around here. That makes sense to me. So that tells me that we may have ourselves a little bit of a Bitcoin pump if this plays out. We got to see whether it breaks to the upside or the downside. but this could be a descending triangle on tether dominance. I like it. I like it. Honestly, there might be a Bitcoin long here. I want to see how this consolidates in this pattern. I'm just trying to see. This is like a symmetrical triangle. Kind of. You could say it's that. It could be a flag. This could be a bull flag, guys, too. Like, just keep that in mind. Like, this could be very much be a bull flag, and then you just Bitcoin just dumps, and we go to 10% here. So anything is possible. But what we do is we plan ahead. What I will caveat to this is we do have very high RSI. Stochastics have already curved down and they're making way down, and MACD is also looking like it's going to start getting bearish. So that leads me more to believe that we're going to have a little bit of a pullback on tether dominance and a little bit of a pump for Bitcoin. So I would say this weekend we might have a little bit of strength for Bitcoin going into tomorrow and the weekend. And maybe it's like that. You get that Sunday night pump, and then Monday we come back to reality. And remember, we're in a bear market. I'll be honest with you. I did buy some Bitcoin at 62.5. So I would really like a pump up to 67 and make a beautiful swing trade. That'd be awesome. Okay, let me change the music. Let's get some different vibes in here. I've just been rotating this over and over and over. I wish I could do a playlist here on. All right, so if you guys have a coin that you guys want to look at, make sure you guys drop it in the chat. I want to see what you guys want to look at. What you guys are thinking? What coins you like? I'll take a look at it. I'll give a little bit of an analysis for it. Overall, that's where we're going, in my opinion, for Bitcoin. Let me take a quick peek at my X here, because I know. So I'm also giving away some Futurist Conference tickets today. So if you guys are, it's in Toronto. So anybody that's coming in to the, anybody that's going to be in Toronto or wants to come down to Toronto, July 21st, 22nd, the Futures Conference is going to be there, going to be live. Yeah, let me just bring it up here. So in Toronto, July 21st, 22nd, they also have one in Fort Lauderdale and Miami, November 17th, 18th. Great venue. They do it at the Hard Rock Hotel, which is like amazing. This hotel right here. But Toronto has a sick venue, beautiful inside here. And you're right by the water. You got the views of the CN Tower. It's actually extremely beautiful. Great people that run it. We had Tracy on the Adoption Pod on Tuesday. Fantastic person. But yeah, so make sure if you guys want to get tickets, I want to see you guys active in chat. We're giving away. I got 3 tickets to give away. So let's get it. And yeah, if you guys aren't active in chat, then no tickets for you, I guess. All right, let's take a look at some news. So Bitcoin has reached a deep bear market valuation zone. The hard part may come next. Well, yeah, I don't think we have had like capitulation, like real capitulation yet. Like every bear market I've been in, there's just like this moment where you just have total capitulation. Everybody just gives up. You feel it, right? Everybody gives up. Twitter's in the dumps. And I don't feel like we quite had that yet. I still think there's too many people that believe that we're gonna like make no all-time highs or go back to all-time highs in 2026. I don't believe that's the case. If anything, institutions would want prices to come lower. So when clarity and all the bills and all the government comes in, like they can get in at a lower price. Like that would be the incentive, in my opinion. So Bitcoin, again, more pain to come. It might take, like, you might find the bottom, start to like consolidate sideways in the summertime, and then in that fall you may, like, it may be a couple months that you consolidate. Like look back here when we consolidated before we had this next leg down. This consolidated for before we had the breakdown 116 days. So right, like that's more than 3 months. So we could either go sideways for the summer, we can make a leg down and then consolidate sideways, and then dump, and then make our cycle bottom, and then we're done. And then 2027, it's all up, baby. That's kind of my thesis right now. That 2027 is just going to be a beautiful year, all upside for the most part. Like, we're going to go up and down, but for the most part, 2027 will be very bullish in my opinion. All right, the real stablecoin play is the plumbing. Yeah. So Canada just launched a new stablecoin. They'll actually be at the Futures Conference. Tetra Group released, I believe, CADD is the stablecoin. Again, stablecoins, in my opinion, are just going to be the digital medium of exchange, right? It's going to be like online cash. I know a lot of people want Bitcoin to be that, but I just don't see people using Bitcoin to do daily transactions. Considering from a tax perspective, it's still considered disposition. So it's still a capital gains event every time you sell crypto, even just to buy coffee. That needs to be changed first, in my opinion, for people to really see to use it. So I don't think we're there. I think if you just want to send cash, stablecoins is going to be the way to go. And I honestly like the idea of having stablecoins to be able to hide your money in stablecoin and then put it into, let Bitcoin drop, put it back into the market, and then have these peaks, because these peaks and valleys are where you really compound your money, right? If you buy the S&P when it's 20% down corrected, and then you hold it for a couple of years, you're doing pretty good, right? Like, that's compounding interest is what, the sixth wonder or seventh wonder of the world. That's what they say. Let me change the music. Let's get some vibes here. I like this. This is not bad. All right. Strategy buys 101 million worth of Bitcoin. It's a good sign for crypto. Yeah. Of course. Buy more Bitcoin. Like, everybody was so scared that, like, oh my God, like, Sailor's going to get liquidated. Like, come on. Do you guys actually think that? Like, come on. This guy has like so much Bitcoin. I don't know how I feel about him having this much supply in the market. Again, he can't control Bitcoin or anything like that, but it is you don't want any one person to have more supply than everyone. You want it to be as just centralized as possible, which it is. Like, the overall network is decentralized because of where the mining hash rate comes from. But again, on the other hand, well, actually, most of the mining hash rate is in the US. Take that from what you will. We need that to be a little bit more decentralized. But again, 51% of network is going to be very hard to attack. Now, when it comes to him holding that much supply, again, it could be a problem if he ever had to sell. But like, the longer he's in crypto and the more price goes up over time, he'll never get liquidated. Like, there's like, I think right now Sailor's liquidation price is like 30 something K. Like, I don't even know if he's ever going to be able to get liquidated, to be honest. If he does, like, if it goes to the 30K, then so be it. I think he'll figure out a way not to get liquidated. And then you may never see 30K again. Like, next bull cycle, 30, like you might not see 30K in this bear market. Like, maybe 40K, maybe 47K is the bottom. Like, maybe 50K is the bottom. That's very possible. We didn't have, like, we topped on empathy. We didn't really top on like crazy euphoria this time. So I don't know if we're gonna have a deeper bear market, especially with how much more demand there is for Bitcoin. There's an argument to be made that we may have the volatility in Bitcoin itself is diminishing. So if that's the case, then you may not have your 75% dumps that you did in the past. Like, if you look at these markets that I showed you last time, this chart here, what the heck? Oh, let me go to weekly. I'm like, why is this chart like zoomed in so much? All right. So if you see here, bottom to top to bottom, right? Let's calculate it. We had a 77% decline in 2021 to the bottom of 2022. Now in 2017, we had a bottom here at 84%. So you gained, or you lost 10% volatility. So let's just say we lose 10% volatility again. So 74, so it'll be 64%. That brings you to 46K. Bro, I'm not making this up. Like, it's 46K. Like, could 47K be the bottom? 46K, 40K. Like, we may not see 30K again. Like, Sailor may never get liquidated. Like, I have to believe that someone's done the math here. Okay, if I buy this much Bitcoin, we continue to raise this much Bitcoin, they will never see this price. Like somebody, come on, who's done the math? Yeah, we'll see what's gonna happen. Day by day, guys, day by day. Bear markets are long. It takes, like I said, it's a whole year, but this is par for the course. This is just part of the game. The idea of creating wealth, the idea of growing your portfolio is just staying in the game, surviving, staying in the game, not getting wiped out, not over leveraging yourself, being able to continue to play the game over and over and over, and invest all the time without interruption over the long period. That's where you're going to be successful. That's the secret sauce to success. Consistency, discipline. It's boring, but that's what works, right? Nobody wants to hear, Bitcoin, you'll get a 4x. Everybody wants a 1000x. What's hot and sexy, but the real way to create wealth, and if you study millionaires, it's really just this single focused bets on things that made them a lot of capital, and you diversify. When you make capital, you diversify that capital to protect it. Diversification is for protection. It's not really diversification. It's not how you make a lot of capital. You make a lot of capital with one single focused thing, right? Like if you just buy the S&P 500, you make a lot of capital. Then you diversify. Mind you, the S&P itself is diversified. All right, let's see what else we got here. So, anyways, Sailor still fine. I guess he's the leader. He's the leader of the space. I think he's kind of showing what corporations can do and what it can be. And you know what? You're just gonna have to wait until Bitcoin makes a new all-time high, and then he's gonna be a genius again. This is the big one, guys. SpaceX IPO launches tomorrow. Heads for a record 1.78 trillion. I believe the token is looking at. Am I muted? I'm looking at the red light on my mic. I'm like, am I fucking muted? I've been muted this whole time. No, we're good. I had a small panic attack. We're good. SpaceX heads for a record 1.78 trillion flow among fears of, is it overvalued? Yeah, in my opinion, yes. I think, let me take a look. I'm pretty sure it was evaluated more than Google. Not Google. Was it Facebook? Here, let's look at ChatGPT. Let's see. SpaceX IPO, was it larger than Facebook's? Yes, by a massive margin. So SpaceX, yeah. So, oh my God, Facebook was 104 billion, and it's 1.78 trillion. That's crazy. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why they're valued so freaking high. And then look, what was Facebook's? Actually, I'll do it like this. Compare Facebook's and SpaceX's revenue. So let's see. This is IPO year 2012. A revenue before IPO 3.78 3.7 billion. SpaceX IPO 18. Maybe I'm looking at the wrong thing. I saw a chart where it was their valuation doesn't match the amount of revenue they made. 4.9 billion loss in 2025 after XAI merger. Wild. I don't know. Is this what dumps the market, guys? 1.78 trillion. I believe the stock is going to be like $135 a share. Yeah, $135 a share. However, the research group Morningstar calculated that SpaceX is only worth $63 a share, well below the anticipated IPO price of $135. Warrants are a major disconnect between market expectations and underlying fundamentals. Well, duh. And from what I heard SpaceX IPO. SpaceX is going to get added to an index. So anybody that owns a 401k is automatically going to be put in the indexes that they're already in. So anybody that's in those indexes, their hedge fund managers will automatically sell some of their stocks to buy this IPO. So I feel like, the accredited investors get in first. They'll get the SpaceX at a discount. SpaceX will launch, and then retail buys in, and you're just going to be exit liquidity for the early investors. Like Facebook, if you look at Facebook, I believe Meta went down 70% after IPO launch. Let's take a look. All right, let's look at Meta on the NASDAQ. I'm going to go to the monthly here. Bro, did I do some work on that? I didn't even realize. I haven't looked at this in a while, guys. I did some work on the on Meta. Am I right? I had a little diamond here. I might be right. Look at this. I haven't looked at this in months, probably. I didn't even remember that I had some work done on this. So I had a descending triangle, and we just talked about descending triangle for Bitcoin. We had a diamond pattern here, and diamonds usually go out the same way they came in. So we'll see if the diamond plays out. That would mean it would have to come up the top side. To be honest, I think we can invalidate the diamond at this point, because right now you're kind of seeing the descending triangle play out. We're kind of broke down below it here. Yeah, Meta. Look for Meta to dip. Oh yeah, we're dumping, guys. Look for, if you guys have Meta stocks. Is this a Head and Shoulders? Could be a head, shoulder. Yeah, no. We may have a little bit of a dump. We don't like when things start to do this. When they round at the top, it usually means they're going to come down. Right? You see things like this, right? Like when it rounds. So, anyways, let's look at. I got totally sidetracked here. All right, so Meta's IPO it was in 2012. It came out and like literally instantly dumped. Went down about 61%. 61% on IPO. That's huge. That's where you want to buy. God, if you got that price, my goodness, you were doing all right. So I would. It's kind of like an altcoin, right? It comes out, everyone's hyped, dumps, finds a bottom, and then you buy from there on in, it goes up. Do I believe SpaceX is going to be a good stock? Yes. But I would be wary how far into the business cycle we are. Your risk right now is buying tops, right? And, markets end in euphoria. Most of the time, not for Bitcoin, but markets usually end in euphoria. And I have to say that the AI bubble, the S&P 500, the U.S. stock market, in my opinion, is in euphoria. We've had a good bull market for the U.S. stock market, honestly. Gold went up, gold had a year, silver had a year, the S&P all-time highs. Honestly, if you're an American stockholder or a gold holder, you did well this year, or last year. Like, you're doing all right in stocks, to be honest. I'm by the way, I did this little uptrend here on Meta. Like look for it to come back to 435, 445. Right. So I still believe this SpaceX IPO is going to be overall bad. Like, will it happen like tomorrow? Will it dump tomorrow? No, it could rally a little bit. Like retail could come in and have it go up a little bit, but I don't think it's going to be sustained. I still think overall 2026 is going to be a down year. Does that bleed into 2027? Possibly. So that's where I'm at overall. I still haven't changed my thesis on where this market's going to go this year, and we'll see where summer goes. Summers, I still think we're going to go down. Well, we'll have to wait and see. That's kind of that's where I'm thinking we're going. All right, so we're getting close to the end. We're going to do about an hour today. So who's here in chat, guys? If you want these futures tickets, you got to hit me up in chat. Let me see who's here. Type 1 if you're here in chat, because I want to give some tickets away. Zenny, what's going on? Zenny, I don't know where you're from, but I'm giving away tickets to the Blockchain Futures Conference, which is in Toronto this year. So if you do want to be a part of the giveaway, type it 2 in chat. I would like to see BTC. Let me take a look at Bitcoin for you again. We'll go through it once again for you, just because you asked. Okay, so let's go to the weekly. For anybody that's just joining in chat, welcome in again. Let's up the vibes here a little bit. Let's up the vibes. All right, cool. Let's do it. Let's up these vibes. Okay, Bitcoin. We clearly had a top. 126K was the top. We've been in a downtrend ever since. I still see the downtrend intact. We consolidate upwards. We make legs down. We did the same thing, and now we're here. We're stuck at the 200-day moving average on the weekly. We came back down at 59K. We tagged it, bounced right off it, and then we came back later. Usually, when you have wicks, they usually become candlesticks, and that wick became a candlestick. So now we got to watch this 200-day moving average on the weekly very, very carefully, because this is going to be if we bounce off it, great, but if we don't, we're coming down. So I want to show you guys the relationship between again, if there's one thing you take away from the way I trade, it's understanding the relationship with the 200-day moving average and the smooth moving average, which is the yellow line and the white line. Okay, when you start to understand the relationship and how price reacts to those things, you start to understand my line of thinking here. I believe we're going to end up losing this. I believe we're making another bear flag on the weekly here. Probably going to see something like that before we make our way down. We're going to probably come down. Again, this is going to be what, 47K? Boom, 48K. Like, I don't see why we don't come to 47K. Like, I keep seeing things that tell me 47K is the mark, is where we're going, honestly. Like, if you want to be risky, you can put a freaking trade in here right now. The 47K and just put your stop loss like being cross. Put your stop loss in at like 82. I don't think we're going back up there again. I don't think you're going to see 82 again until next bull run. That's my opinion. Obviously not financial advice. You do what you got to do, but that's what I'm thinking. So 200-day moving average, yellow line on the weekly. Bear markets, usually you lose it. It comes down. This is kind of what I'm seeing here. I think we're kind of doing something like this. Mind you, this lost it, but you're consolidating with it, and you're gonna drop. So I think we're gonna consolidate. We might follow this up a little bit here. Again, this is where I think 67, 66K could be that rally in the short term. Short term, I think we might see 67,000 for Bitcoin, unless we dump sooner. Like, I'll show you the daily in a second, but we lose it on the bear markets, and then we find our cycle bottom somewhere below the 200-day moving average. In 2017, we lost it here during the COVID dump. We bounced off it 18, And then like March of 2020, we all know what happened and we came down. Oh, I'm from the USA. Oh no. Well, I don't know. I have tickets. I'm not sure if, that's a good question. The tickets that I have, they do have a conference in Fort Lauderdale this year, November. I wonder if the tickets that I have to give away can be used for either or. Probably not, because I believe they're sending them out now because the conference is next month. But I'll check. So that's kind of where I'm thinking. I think we're going to lose it at some point, and then that'll be like our way to the cycle bottom. It might take a couple months to get there. Like we can come down a little bit, consolidate sideways for the summer, come down, or we can just go straight to it and that's it. Then we just go sideways, like literally just go sideways the whole bear market. Like here, for example, when we lost the 200-day moving average here, we had some price action consolidating here. This went on for, before we went to the bottom, 147 days. So we had a rally and then we lost it and then that was it, right? Like this is basically your summer here. Yeah, this is basically your summer here from June all the way to November. So that, like, keep an eye on this fractal, and then it might be the same thing here. Like it could come back up. Like July, maybe we rally in July, and then that's it. And then we just kind of whittle our way down into the fall. But I don't believe we've hit the bottom. I don't believe we hit the cycle bottom. Again, at 47K keeps calling my name. So I'd keep an eye on that. But what I will tell you is this is a good time to dollar cost average. If you're buying Bitcoin now and we go back up to 126K, you're gonna 2x your money. I have to assume that we're gonna have a new all-time high. So you may 3x your money at that point. You just might have to wait a couple of years to do so. Now let me go back to the daily so I can show you what I was talking about on the daily. Wrong chart. There we go. So I got the daily in this. So we can either have one of two things. Either we're making another bear flag, or we're making an ascending triangle and we come up. I have this more likely coming to the downside. But we'll have to watch what happens with the smooth moving average. If we can get a flip above this and price starts following it above it, I can see that we can come up again. 67K like would be somewhere right around here. Revisit this. Do we have, let me look at liquidity here. Yeah, so we have this gap right here. So if we get above here, this gap brings you about to 65K. So the short term, I believe 67 to 65K, somewhere around there, could be in the cards. Let's take a look at CoinGlass real quick. Oh, not CoinMarketCap, CoinGlass. Let's see where the liquidation levels are at. Liquidation levels. On the 15-minute, I don't want to see the 15-minute. Let me see if I can find a better. Oopsies. Liquidation levels, liquidation heat map. There we go. Okay. So we got 62. 24. This is the day, the 1 week. Let's take a look at the weekly. Yeah, so we got some liquidations at 64. 64K, 62K. We have 74 million at 64K and 85 at 62.3. So we might see 62.3 before we see 64. And let's take a look at the 12-hour, 20. Let's look at the daily. 62.3. Yeah, 62.3 is the number here, guys. Do we come to 62.3 before we go up to 65? And where would that put you on that chart? 62.3. Yeah, see, that tells me that we might actually bounce to go back to the bottom of the channel here. We're already starting red on the daily. So we had a green candle come up and the rejection down. So we might actually tomorrow you might see Bitcoin come down actually 62.3, and then maybe it bounces up again. We still can consolidate in this pattern for quite a little bit longer, right? Like this can bring you to Thursday of next week, right? Like we can still bounce in this channel for up to Thursday of next week. So yeah, maybe to the bottom of the channel again, 60, 62, 61 tomorrow. Hit that liquidity and then up to 63.5, 64 and get that liquidity to the upside. That's a potential scenario that we can play out here. All right, let me change my music again. Nope. I made all this with AI, by the way. This is all the music I made. All right, so that's kind of where I'm thinking that we're gonna go. I've showed you guys the trend. I've showed you guys the news. I think we took a pretty good stab on it. Tomorrow's going to be a very big day. SpaceX IPO, so it's going to be pretty huge. Now, anybody in chat, hit me up if you want to take it to the futures conference. If not, send me a DM. I didn't see a whole lot of people active in chat tonight, so I'm gonna forego because I don't have anybody to give it away to right now. So we'll give it away to the community a little bit later. I'll help push it out on socials, and we'll give it away to whoever wants one. But I think we've beat this with a dead horse. Sorry, we don't want to beat a dead horse. Overall trend for Bitcoin, short term maybe up, long term still down. Still haven't seen our cycle bottom, and we'll see. We'll pick it up next week. Hopefully, J-Chains is back next week, and we'll show you guys again the trend, and we'll get through it again. Every Wednesday night is when we used to do the show. I had something yesterday, so I had to push it to today. So Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. Trade Daddies is live every Wednesday. Me and J-Chains will be live with you guys, showing you guys the trends, showing you guys how we're trading this market. And I appreciate you guys coming in and talking in the chat and spend some time here. And we'll see you guys next week. Thank you so much for coming by, and have yourself a fantastic evening.
Yeah. Another session in the books. Trade Daddies. Let's close it out right. Yeah. From the charts to the couch, we appreciate your time. Every view, every share, that support is a sign. Late night learners building wealth slow. Plant seeds today, watch the legacy grow. We don't flex hype, we invest in the grind. Teach discipline so you level your mind. If the game gave value and the message hit deep, run it back, tap like, let the algorithm speak. Trade Daddies, yeah, we here every week. Dropping gems, keeping structure unique. If you vibe with the movement, help it expand. Like, share, subscribe, build the brand. Trade Daddies, yeah, we teach no cap. Real dads, real trades, real talk on the map. Yeah. No promises quick, just knowledge and reps. Risk managed tight, calculated steps. From beginners to vets, everybody can learn. Market cycle spin, patience earns. So salute to the viewers, community strong. Independent thinkers, moving along. Hit subscribe if you rock with the show. Turn alerts on, don't miss the flow. Don't miss the flow.
Who keeps it real? Trade Daddies. Who builds the skill? Trade Daddies. Like it up, share it wide, subscribe and ride. Daddy time, knowledge climb. See you next week, same